Alright, so if you are filming on an iPhone and you're using Adobe programs to edit the footage, you might have noticed that things look completely different color-wise and brightness-wise when you import them into Adobe. For me, it seemed like I'd lost detail, like it looked less natural and almost like I had a smoothing filter applied. I don't know, personally I just felt it looked overbaked and lower quality. I was using Adobe Rush when I first noticed this, and I had a really hard time getting answers for why this was the case. But as it turns out, the differences are something that only happens when you're shooting in HDR, which I didn't even realize I was doing. HDR is an issue because Adobe doesn't really know what to do with it. Adobe is not, after all, optimized to run on or with Apple products. I'm also going to theorize that you might have come across a similar issue if you made use of the inbuilt brightness, contrast, saturation features on the iPhone. Even if you didn't shoot in HDR, those changes, since they were done on Apple, might be hard for Adobe to translate. So what is the solution? Well, I have a few different options for you depending on your needs. However, there is no magic control or setting that you can change in Adobe Rush that's just going to fix the issue. We will have to outsource a bit. The first one is to recognize that as an iPhone user, you have access to use iMovie for free on your iPhone. And iMovie likes HDR, like it's not gonna make it look different. So what you have then is a tool to export your footage into a more compressed format where the HDR has kind of been merged with the actual video. So what you have left is a .mp4 rather than a .mov. If you do this, then the footage will look the same when you export it, and it will also be received by Adobe just fine. I understand that that's kind of an annoying extra step to take, so my second option is to simply stay in iMovie. This is gonna suck on your phone, but if you have a Mac, iMovie is also free and has pretty similar capabilities to Adobe Rush, so if you have access to it and haven't tried it, it could be an alright option. So third option, along the same vein as ditching Adobe Rush, if you have Adobe Rush, there's a decent chance that you have access to Adobe Premiere in your Creative Cloud subscription. Because trust me, it's the better deal. I think with a student discount, the whole Creative Cloud suite of apps only cost me like $20 a month. So maybe look into that. Now in Adobe Premiere, there is a way to fix the HDR issue. I will link a video that I found super helpful down below. And basically the guy creates a LUT which you can download for free and never have to think about again. And no, Adobe Rush doesn't support LUTs, so you will have to have Adobe Premiere for this fix. I will just say that Premiere has so many more features, and I am gradually making the shift over to Premiere myself. And lastly, if none of those solutions were viable for you, the final option I have is to simply not shoot in HDR if you don't have to. Like, I never actively chose to shoot in HDR, it was just the default by Apple, and you can turn that off. So if you're just after reliable and consistent footage, just go to your settings and turn off HDR and save yourself the headache, honestly. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. I actually have this YouTube channel to talk about music things, but doing YouTube means I'm also learning to film and edit, and I do intend on doing more of these types of videos as I run into issues and need to solve them. So basically, if you like this, it could be worth subscribing. I don't know, but anyways, thanks for visiting. See you later.